Welcome to the Trailchasers podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. We love the Roadie MTX tires, and we're super happy with the way they perform. They perform great on the road, and they're absolute beasts off-road. Go to nexentireusa.com and get a set for your rig. The show's also brought to you by Icon Vehicle Dynamics. The Icon team takes a holistic approach to their products to ensure that all the components work together and you can get the most out of your vehicle. If you want to take your vehicle to the next level, go check out what they have for your rig at iconvehicledynamics.com.
Today on the show, we talk to Mike Rickerd with Overland Flagstaff. Do you want to experience overlanding in a well-equipped rig? Well, he's got a great option for you. Then we get into our Calico adventure this past weekend. Does Calico hide the entrance to Thunderdome? Stay tuned.
Yeah, and just make sure you Google Flagstaff, Arizona, and not Flagstaff, New Mexico.
It's an easy mistake to make.
Is it?
Hey everybody, it is 6:30 on Monday night. We are live in the studio, unlike last week's shit show of a recording. We are live in the studio again. Matt, Jose, and I are here.
Right out the gate with the profanity.
Right out the gate. That's what you're going to get. And joining us tonight on the big screen and on YouTube is Mike Rickerd from Overland Flagstaff. Overland Flagstaff. How you doing tonight, Mike?
I am doing great, Cody. Thanks for asking. And the three of you guys?
We're good. We're scrambling. We were talking about a little bit before we hit record. Today was my first day of a real job, and I left the office at dark, which I haven't done in like 4 years. And
At dark,
like I'm usually out the door way earlier than that, and I have a lot more flex. But I'm going to have to work for a living for the next several years, and I don't know, man. Does anybody have a line on the lottery? Like I don't know that I'm cut out for it.
Yeah, seriously, it's difficult.
If I had a line on the lottery, do you think I'd tell you about?
We are family. We are family, sir. I would expect you to share.
Share, but you wanted the line on the lottery. I'll send you the number for the lotto line later.
All right, I appreciate that. So Mike is joining us from Flagstaff, as you can imagine. The background here is one of our listeners, Tim. Let's see if Tim is in the chat room.
He's saying he better get credit for this.
I'm about to give him credit. So I'm about to give Tim credit, right? So Tim said that on his, I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram, but the Overlanding Flagstaff page popped up. And I'm sorry, Overland Flagstaff page popped up, and he's like, "Oh, this seems pretty cool." He dug into it. He sent me the post and was like, "Hey, you should check this out. This might be a good interview." And I went, "Cool." And I went over there and I followed Mike, and I think I was like, one of the very early followers. There was like two posts.
3 or 4.
Yeah, there was like 2 posts there, but I read some of the website stuff, and I was intrigued at where it was going. So I just hit follow, and then he followed back, and then sent an email, and then I sent it like back and forth, and I was like, "Hey, dude, we have Monday open. You want to come on the show?" That's the foresight we have here. That's the kind of planning this happens. But so Mike, tell us what in your mind what Overland Flagstaff is from a big picture. Like what's the vision?
Okay. The vision of Overland Flagstaff is basically, I've experienced such joy in wonderful just moments in life because I've been able to get out and go to those lightly treaded places on earth. So, places like Alstrom Point and, Cottonwood Canyon Road and Grosvenor's Arch and just stunning scenes of beauty, kind of really helped me, when, life kind of gets a little bit, man, and you got your daily struggles and work and all those things, you breaking away into nature is a great way to do that. And I also happen to be a big car guy. You know, pretty much anything with an engine and wheels is I'm a huge fan of that. So
Yeah.
I combined my need to explore with this kind of cool fad that had popped up as I got a little older in terms of overlanding, and so I combined those two joys and got behind the wheel of a truck, a Tacoma, and just kind of started setting out. And I realized that I was able to get a lot out of these experiences just personally, and so the idea came about to kind of share this experience with people. I mean, of course, the truck and the gear is something you rent, so you do have to contribute in that regard. But I wanted to give people the opportunity to get behind the wheel of something capable that somebody else who had spent years off-roading and overlanding in dozens of trips and lots of places, different environments, hot weather, cold weather, put together the gear for you. Each truck has a big binder in it full of destinations. There's pages on my website that are dedicated to that, because I wanted to allow pretty much anyone, whether you were, somebody from the East Coast flying to the West Coast that had their own rig and who knew what they wanted to do, to go to, Arches National Park or to go to the Grand Canyon, the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. Or if you were somebody who lives in my town and says, well, I grew up in Chicago or Pittsburgh or like a city. I don't really know what the outdoors are like. So, Overland Flagstaff's main philosophy is take the keys, go have fun.
Yeah. And you've done, based on what I saw, you've done more than just said, you're more than a car rental service, right? Anybody can go
Correct.
rent a truck. You've gone to the extent that literally sit your butt down in the car and go. And the truck is outfitted with all of the gear you need to spend a couple days out there. It's got, like you said, the destinations and all that.
Does it have a cooler full of IPAs by chance?
It can. You know what? I pride myself on being incredibly flexible. If you want something, you ask me, I'll get it done. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'll swing by the grocery store and stock it up with my wife will bake you cookies, whatever you want.
Now, okay, look, now you
Sounds
need,
good.
yeah, now you need 3 more vehicles, because if you're making cookies, we're all going to come out, and I want my own truck with my own cookies. except I want Diet Coke and Monster in the refrigerator, not that stupid.
That sounds
beer.
good. We can do that. But yeah, Cody, that's a great point. Is that I took the effort. I really wanted to make this turnkey. I really wanted to make it as complete as possible. I even offer free local delivery to any address within the city of Flagstaff limits, because I want, when you get to experience nature and you get to be in it and you're reminded that it exists, I feel like you get more connected to it, and it becomes more important to you. The fact that there are these beautiful destinations and there's just open space. There's wild animals. It's when you can actually immerse yourself in that environment. I think it, like I said, it just makes you maybe care about it a little bit more. So if I can share that, that mindset, those opportunities with other people, who may, to get a rig and put a rooftop tent on it and outfit it with sliders and bumpers and tires, that may not be within reach for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of the people that you interview, and I'm sure a lot of people that listen to this podcast, that they're rocking Ford Rangers or Land Cruisers or Nissan Frontiers.
Yeah, notice what he said first. You notice what he said first?
Yeah.
He has pity on you. That's why.
Let me stop you for a second, Mike, as I think you were about to go down the route where some of our listeners wouldn't need this service, but I would disagree, because I think that there are a lot of people that have a Tacoma, or have a vehicle and they want to build it into an overland vehicle. They don't know exactly what that means and they don't know exactly. So you know what? For a very reasonable price, you go to Overland Flagstaff, you rent the truck, you go out and spend a weekend in it and you go, yes, this is what I want.
So yeah, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but there are two big takeaways from this like business model. It's like one, it allows someone or anyone that is thinking about getting into this hobby, it gives them an opportunity to see if they're even going to like camping out in the in the wild.
Correct.
Yeah,
it allows them to be exposed to all the different gear that's out that's available, and also it allows them to see what the Tacoma, if they're thinking about buying a Tacoma.
Oh yeah.
It allows them to see like, okay, this is the way this is equipped. Is it the way is this how I want to equip mine if I get it, or there's something different? Yeah. Or they might think that some people might think they want the Tacoma because they
haven't driven a Ranger yet,
Right.
Oh yeah.
But it may turn out that instead of them buying it and then realizing it wasn't for them, this giving them the opportunity to take this out for a couple nights and it saves you a lot of money in the long run.
It's a very low barrier to entry, and it gives you a model, right? Mike has gone out of his way to build something that he knows works in this way. It gives you a model to where you take this vehicle out and you can go, hey, he had this many cups in there, this many, all of the things fit. And now I'm going to take this model back and start using it as the guide to build my own truck, whether it be a Tacoma or not, like the Overland piece. Do I want a rooftop tent, right?
Exactly.
So not many of us get the opportunity to test a rooftop tent. Like you can now rent one for 2 nights, go see it and go, I loved it. I have to have it. Or you know what? I didn't like sleeping. I talked to, who was it I was talking to that said that they would never do a rooftop tent again. They bought one, put it on their truck, and sleeping up high and wobbling, and then trying to get up and down.
Getting up and down is like if you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
And I can't remember who it was we were talking to that said that, and they were like, "No, I'll never do a rooftop tent again." Well, you don't want to go out and spend a couple grand on a rooftop tent to then find that out later.
Yeah, correct. You're correct. And one of the things, while I was thinking about this idea, it kind of evolved from numerous other ideas that kind of fell together over time. But when I was researching other companies that kind of offer these services, one of the things that I found to be a barrier to entry was that they're rather long minimum rentals. Mm-hmm. So some, 5 nights is a minimum amount of nights that you can rent. So I purposefully went all the way down to you can rent this entire thing. You get everything for just a single night because some people may not have the ability to even take a weekend, but if they can get a single night out with the family, with the significant other, and experience what we've been talking about for the past few minutes, I think that again helps me accomplish one of my personal goals, which is getting people out into nature. And thankfully, I was listening to a podcast, one of your guys' recent podcasts with a gentleman, I think it was Expedition Team Overland out, and he was in Akron, Ohio. One thing is really fortunate for me, nothing. I think his name was Rob, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Robert, nothing against Rob, but I'm lucky enough to live in Flagstaff, Arizona, where I can. Last week, a friend and I were shooting some footage. He's got a drone and a gimbal and things like that. And he's real good at photography. And on Monday we went down to Sedona, which is about 40 minutes away, and we did the Broken Arrow Trail in the truck and. Just crazy, like the best rock crawling trail in Arizona. And then the next day we went up to this place called SP Crater, which is a different direction from the heart of town, another 40 minutes. We're in a completely different landscape. We're in rolling grassy hills on top of a volcano, just wide open as far as you can see. Then the next day we go somewhere else. We're in the middle of a deep, dense forest, driving on really tightly packed forest.
Keep it up. I'm packing my bags. You keep going. I'm ready to move, man.
Seriously. And then I think we wrapped it up. Oh, yeah. We went to the Mogollon Rim, which, again, is maybe only 20 minutes outside of town. And, we're in the woods, but we're on this beautiful canyon that's just carving through the earth. It's just so I'm really grateful and appreciative of the fact that I wound up, through a crazy series of events, I wound up in this particular place that is just booming with opportunities for things like this. It's you don't have to drive 6 hours to get to one off-road park to hang out for the day. I can drive 20 minutes, hit a dirt road, and then I can literally drive for days on just dirt roads, only into the middle of nowhere. That's one of the things I love the most about, the American Southwest is it's just so much open land that's just public that people can use. You can experience. There's even sometimes when it's boring, it just seems kind of flat. I don't know. You get up on a high vantage point, you take a look around. It's just really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, isn't there only like 3 cities in New Mexico? Like Tucson, Phoenix, and Flagstaff, and the rest is like Wild West.
That's
Arizona.
Arizona.
Where am I at here? That's what I said. What did I say? New Mexico.
You said New Mexico.
Flagstaff.
Hey, you ever been to Phoenix, New Mexico?
Flagstaff.
Not yet, but I was
looking at the map because I was looking at
locations. Saw the big UFO? Right?
Yes.
I think that's where
Arizona.
That's where Roswell.
Arizona. There's only 3 cities in Arizona: Tucson, Phoenix, and Flagstaff. The rest is like Wild West. I picture people riding around horses and carriages.
Just so you know, this is the guy that gets us lost all the time.
Yeah. You don't want to follow me. No. Yeah. Because I thought Phoenix was in New Mexico. Yeah. Dude, this is not news.
Phoenix may be the 7th largest market, city in the country.
Look, if this surprises you, any of you.
I'm not surprised.
No, I'm saying anybody listening.
I just thought we had hit rock bottom. I didn't know there's still.
I have several layers to go.
You say dumb shit, I mock you.
Yes.
This is the show.
Yeah. And it's pretty, there's quite a bit of fuel. There's quite a bit of fuel there.
Every week.
No, we're pretty spoiled down here too, man. Like we literally have, we drive up the freeway and we have a Cleghorn right here. That's like a lot of people.
Well, we drive up. We sit in traffic for a while, and then we get to some pretty cool stuff.
But like mileage-wise, it's what, maybe 10 miles from here?
Yeah. Cleghorn?
Yeah. No. Cleghorn's 20.
From here? No, dude. I'm asking. Why am I asking Cody? Matt.
I'd say it's 17 miles. Can we?
It's like 15 at max.
All right. Well, whatever.
But it's like one of the premier spots to go off-roading here because it's a fire road if you want it to be, or there's offshoots where it can get as technical as any other rock, black diamond trail can be. And it's
I didn't know that.
It is 27.6 miles. Boom. I'm going to do it off camera. Look at this.
Is that the Cleghorn in New Mexico?
Yeah, Cleghorn, New Mexico.
Cleghorn Ridge is 27.6 miles from my house.
All right.
Boom. You can't see
All right. The tables have turned.
Yes. I know what I'm talking about.
So we have that. And then if we want to go to the mountains, we have Big Bear. If we want a desert run, we have Johnson Valley. Like, we're super spoiled down here in SoCal.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. When I lived in SoCal, I was real big into cars back then. I didn't actually have anything that had 4-wheel drive. So completely different.
Yeah. And you said you were in San Diego, right?
Yeah. So a little south of you guys, but we would,
hold on,
cruising up to Julian.
Hold on. What is happening? What is happening in the background?
Are you in a bowling alley?
Oh, my apologies. My wife is hanging in an upside down teeter hang up machine.
Oh, okay. Well, is she okay? Because it sounded like it sounded like she fell.
You might want to check on her.
It's just like
Miss Rickerd, are you okay? Yeah. We're worried about you.
She's all right. She says thank you.
Okay. I just want to make sure she was okay.
Wait a minute. She's bowling upside down? Wow.
Living in a bowling alley might not be a bad thing.
Man. Yeah, that is it sounded like someone had a catastrophe in the background. So
I appreciate you guys checking in, but she is all right.
So what you said you were in San Diego when you lived in Southern California, right?
Yes, sir.
And how long were you there in San Diego?
About 3 years.
Okay. Long enough to know it was expensive and you can get a better house in New Mexico or wherever the hell you live now?
Arizona.
I said it on purpose.
He's just rolling with it now. I like it. He's just rolling with it.
Not out of spite.
Look, at this point, I'm trying to help him expand to Overland New Mexico. That'll be the next rig, and then Overland SoCal, right? I'm looking at the expansion market. That's all.
Yeah.
See, Cody, he's planning for the future. Yeah, actually, when I lived in San Diego, I was a I was enlisted in the Marine Corps, so I didn't have to pay for any houses, thankfully, but I still know how expensive that place is.
Yeah.
So props to you guys for hanging out. And
No. Just so we're clear, I don't live anywhere near San Diego. I can't afford to live in San Diego.
No.
So there's like San Diego.
I can't afford to drive through San Diego.
There's like San Diego, then there's like the LA, and then there's the dirt cities, and that's where I live. We live out in the dirt cities.
No, you live in the cow country, dude.
Yes, yeah. When I first moved into my house, into this neighborhood, it was dairy farms and agriculture 10 miles in every direction. So I'm cool with that though, because I couldn't afford I couldn't afford a house in San Diego. It's dumb.
Gotcha.
And you kind of said you had a crazy path to get you to Flagstaff, Arizona. What was that through the military? Were you moving around a lot?
No, but as a young man, I grew up in Pennsylvania, or as a kid, I guess. So I kind of experienced snow and cold weather, and then I moved to Phoenix. And when I was in high school, and I just experienced a lot of really hot, miserable. It just is so hot there. And then I lived on the East Coast for a little bit with the Marine Corps, and then I ended up in San Diego. And when it was time to get out, I wanted to live in a different climate as an adult. So I said, Flagstaff is just a couple hours north of all my friends, and I had some family in Phoenix. So let me try to go to college there. I ended up getting accepted, and then I moved up here, and it kind of a lot of things shifted because, for example, in San Diego, on a Tuesday night, I could go to a BMW meet in Claremont Mesa, and I could be hanging out with 30 guys that had E30 BMWs, right? And in Phoenix, I could go once every 2 weeks to a meet and hang out with 30 guys that had BMWs. When I came out to Flagstaff, there's never 30 enthusiast cars in the same parking lot. So it kind of really shifted the focus. It forced me to say, I brought a couple, I had a 91 318 IS and I had a 97 M3 that I brought to Flagstaff that were just terrible cars for here. I moved here in December and there was snow on the ground. I remember the guys were plugging in
You needed that 325 IX.
There you go. Some guys were plugging the internet into our house.
I will never buy a BMW, so I have no idea what those things are.
It's the all-wheel drive.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Jose's on it. But anyways, it really, but so I'm big into cars, really mechanical mindset. And when I was really little, my half brother had like a Jimmy,
the GMC Jimmy.
Yeah, the GMC Jimmy. And my grandma had some land outside of Pittsburgh and he would drive it and put it in 4-wheel drive, and it just blew my mind. It was so cool. And, life kind of put me in places where 4-wheel drive wasn't really practical. It wasn't, it's always a viable form of transportation, especially with trucks nowadays, but it wasn't ever really prominent. It wasn't ever front line. It was way more interesting to have cars, I guess. But when I got to Flag, it really changed that. So I made the mistake, and, some people probably hate on this, but I went through 4 XJs and they all sucked.
Wait a minute. We need to.
I'm not going to fight you on that.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
We need to unpack that because.
Did you make sure to check the oil and stuff on it? You got to check the fluids on a semi-regular basis.
Look, that 4.0 on that XJ will run dry.
It was so good. But the rest of it was, the last one I bought was a 2000 Sport, like one owner, old lady. I went, I searched out for the perfect one. It still had death wobble. It was just terrible.
It's sad
that's
though.
That's a factory option.
Yeah, that's a feature.
Low death wobble.
Undocumented feature. I own multiple XJs, from 87 all the way through the 2001 or whatever the last year was.
Yep.
And I really loved the versatility of the XJ, and I loved the vehicle, but yeah, if they weren't taken care of, or as they got older on age, they don't last the way a Land Cruiser does.
But yeah,
they don't.
if you employed Jose's
yes.
maintenance
if I was welding
where you were replacing
welding in new body panels every week,
every other month, a new alternator and starter must be installed. Put in a new motor every 6 months. You're probably good as gold.
Yeah,
man. You change one alternator every 25 years, and
but kind of trying to finish that point out is they sucked, but they were so magnificent in a different way. You know, they
in like a pathetic way.
No, it was, I don't know. It maybe it showed me that there was a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Cherokee brought to my attention that it was possible for me to leave pavement behind and hit the dirt and climb on rocks and drive fast on bumpy roads and park in the middle of fields and try to camp out of it, you know, sleeping in the driver's seat.
Man, now I want another XJ.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll have another one day, but it's that you know, it brought back all those childhood memories of seeing my half brother driving us around in his GMC Jimmy. And that really started this fire inside to go explore the outdoors. And I made the switch to a Toyota Tundra at one point. I needed to tow some things, and the XJ was having some hard time doing that. So I picked up a really old beat up Tundra.
I think the only thing an XJ is good at pulling is another XJ for spare parts. Like that's about the capacity of the XJ.
And then I did have two at one time, and I did have to trade in with the other one. That was pretty funny, actually. It wouldn't. I think the transmission gave out or something. Maybe the transfer case. But
of course.
So I wound up in a Tundra, and the Tundra was beat up, but it was just so awesome. And that's when I got my rooftop tent, and I just put it in I didn't have a rack or anything. I just clamped it to some 2x4s and clamped them to the side of the truck bed rails. And I just rode that sucker out into the wild. And then, eventually transitioned into a third gen Tacoma that I have now. And I got a little more serious, you know, the desire to explore and to, you know, touch on those lightly treaded areas, respectfully, of course, was always there. And now that I'm behind the wheel of something that, you know, is very reliable, it's new, it's comfortable, that kind of really solves all those overland problems for me, because to me, overlanding is there's a lot of miles involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, just last week I took the truck out to Broken Arrow and did Devil's Staircase, and the pink Jeep Tours drive through there all the time, and you can hear them on the radio. They're like, "Oh, watch out for this guy. He's a overlander guy coming here trying to rock crawl," and it's still a good time. But for me, a much larger portion of the equation is getting those miles and really kind of disappearing. So I guess that's really a long way of saying it, and I may ramble on a lot, but so you guys can cut me off whenever you need. But it's just that's kind of how I got to this point as on an off-road exploration overland type level was through a real young kid. I think I must have been 7 or 8 years old the first time I saw that. And that passion just was, lived inside of me. It was hidden underneath the surface. And then when I got to where I am now, it kind of forced it to come up to the top. And then I just ran with it from there, I guess.
Yeah. And I think
that makes any sense at all.
No, it does. Cause I think there's a lot of that in all of us that do the off-roading and overlanding, whether it be.
Yeah, that's pretty typical of, all of us.
Yeah,
I think for the most part.
Whether it be your brother that was in the Jimmy, or you saw that cool truck that you wanted, but there's something, right? And then the first time you get to take your vehicle on a dirt road without dying, and you're like, this is amazing. I want to do this again. And next thing you know, you're homeless and broke, and you,
exactly.
you have no weekends left over, and Yeah, 9 miles per exactly. So as you, when did in the course of that XJ Tundra Tacoma, like that whole process, when did you decide that you wanted to share this with people enough to start the business, the Overland Flagstaff business?
I guess it probably started 2 years ago, but it was very low level. It was like a very, it was an infant level idea. I was pretty busy. I just started a new job. And I didn't have the time to make it a reality. And then over the years, it's in the back of the mind, your brain's kind of processing a little bit. It's like, oh, how would this happen? How would that happen? And then I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman who lives down in Sedona who rents out Jeeps. And he took the time. I took him to lunch. We sat down. We talked, for hours and hours. I asked him question after question. And he really taught me. He answered a lot of my questions. A lot of these, everybody, I tell people about the idea. They're like, X is the, insurance.
Yeah,
for one
here's the
example, is
obstacle.
thing.
Yeah. What's the obstacle?
How do you deal with that? So he was able to give me a lot of guidance on that. And I still sat on the idea. And, a brief side tangent. I heard one of your other interviewees say that you guys like side tangents. So I'm on a side tangent too. Part of what is so engaging for overlanding for me is that connection to a bunch of mechanical components to the vehicle. It's I don't know, it call me crazy, but you start to care about it. It starts to become something that
Cody
has no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, come on.
He does not.
He's ready to shed that Ford like an old pair of pants.
I care about all of my vehicles equally, even if I only have them for a short period of time.
Not at all. Exactly.
For those 3 months.
You equally not care about any of your vehicles. That's it. Ready to move on.
So you drive deep into nowhere. You don't have cell phone reception. You haven't passed a gas station in 10 hours. You're on a really bumpy road that is, you're traveling at maybe 2 miles an hour. You're really in it. And that teamwork between man and machine is really one of my favorite things. So getting back off the tangent, now that was the hardest part for me. The Tacoma that I own is the nicest thing that I've ever had. It's the nicest thing I've ever bought. So the idea of
handing the keys over.
Yes, exactly. Sharing it was that, Cody, that is probably what ate up about 22 months of those 2 years that this idea is I couldn't quite bring myself to say, here, go.
Yeah.
Because let's be realistic. Like, it's not cheap to outfit a vehicle like your Tacoma.
No.
And then doing it the way all that time and effort that went into it. Now you're going to you're going to let someone that's probably never driven an off-road vehicle before or is not going to care for it the way you do. It's like, okay, they pay the fee and here's the keys. Go do as you please.
Exactly. You're right, Jose. But I put the thing through its paces. I attempt to see if it stands up to that legendary reliability that everybody talks to. So, they can do it, but. So that's really what ate up about most of that time. And then it finally, a bunch of, life events kind of came together where life kind of really slowed down. And I'm the kind of person that wants to be engaged on the day to day. So, I think the website launched November 25th, the 21st. So 9 days ago, I started putting the business together maybe 21 days before that. So it just was this life kind of came together and said, hey, you got some free time. You have this idea, do it. So that's kind of how it came about, I guess.
What if somebody just decides to rent your truck and then just use it for day-to-day, like, commuting, and maybe they just want to help move a buddy or something?
They want to look
like
cool.
a refrigerator or something. I mean, hey, they're going to take it wheeling. They're going to have it a few days, and then, hey, I got a truck. And then they're just going to, like, go to Home Depot and start. That's fine.
I think...
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's part of the experience.
Oh.
Part of the experience.
Exactly. I still have a lot to learn. It could be, Cody, you said in your email, you're interested to see where this venture goes. And my response was, me too. Everybody I share the business with and the idea with, they all think it's really cool that the experience it will be something that you can't find many places, if any places. If somebody wants to take it and get 2x4s at Home Depot, I mean, I pick up 2x4s with it all the time. It's still there, so I think it'll be just fine.
I love the idea. I think it's a great idea, and I can totally empathize with the fact that all of the logistics behind how you would actually do this. It is the limiting factor, right? It'd be one thing if you're like, you know what? I happen to have $100,000. I'm going to go buy 4 vehicles and I'm going to outfit them. Yeah. Like there's a friend of the show, a Big Bear Jeep Experience here in Big Bear, California. My brother works on their vehicles all the time. Desi has 5-6 Jeeps. They're all outfitted. They're all designed specifically for people to rent. It took him a while to get there, but it'd be one thing to do that, it's a whole different thing when you're like, I have built my truck and now I'm going to let Jose drive Jose would take care of my truck. Jose would do great. I wouldn't let Matt drive my truck. I don't care. I don't care what the rental fee was.
You know what?
Especially if it's like a rental.
Yes. Guess deal. I'm not driving your truck. There's no need. My truck is way more reliable, for one. And then number 2, didn't you loan your truck to like some Australian people that went down to Mexico to smuggle drugs or something?
But that was the good one.
That was the Tacoma.
Oh, that's right.
But also launching this endeavor like during a pandemic.
Yeah.
It sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually pretty cool because most people want to get away from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Someone is sitting there going, you know what? I need to get out of my house because I've been stuck here.
Exactly.
I don't have a tent. I don't have a truck. I don't have here you go. 2 nights, boom, done. Like handled. You know what I mean? You can't go to hotels in a lot of places.
No.
You know what I mean? And for the cost on the website, it's less than going to a hotel for 2 nights. I mean, you can easily see where there's a market for this.
For sure.
So I think what we do is we set up a satellite office, Overlanding's IE, Overlanding the Inland Empire. We outfit Matt's truck and we just loan that out. You on board, Jose?
I'm in.
Okay, we're taking rentals for Matt's truck starting now. Anybody interested? Send an
Yeah, I mean, if you need to move a refrigerator or you want to go to Home Depot to pick up some drywall or whatever, I'll rent you my truck. No problem.
The unfortunate,
how much could I charge?
Yeah, well, no. Here's the unfortunate part.
They
would charge you a cleaning fee. Like they would. They would have to.
True. You know what? Just call it even. Just bring it back to me cleaner than it is when I gave it to you, and we'll call it even. Good luck with that, though. It's a rough. Woo.
We have to talk about the inside of my truck after your son was in my truck all weekend or all day on Saturday. So going back to your Tacoma, so do you feel like it is complete? It's set up and ready to go? Or are you still evolving on the gear and the setup?
Yeah, that's a great question, Cody. I guess this kind of might tie into what kind of the near future goals are. And the near future goals will be to acquire 2 to 4 more Tacomas and build them pretty similar to the way mine is built now, because to me, it feels complete for the rental experience I'm trying to offer. To me personally, what I would love to do is have, other Tacomas that are out, people are using them, and then I can take, my time and effort and make my Tacoma a little bit more my style, which is a little more aggressive than it is currently. The truck is great for what I want to offer and share to people, because, I have a power tank and radios, and I have a bunch of stuff that I use because I'm comfortable using them. I think they're vital. But I don't want to, it's not quite use, a power tank is a kind of a dangerous thing, and inflating tires is, so I want to avoid that kind of exposure. So the way the truck is now is perfect for the rental experience, but I'm hoping I can quickly phase out the truck that my Tacoma, for less of for lack of a better term there, and make it a little bit more aggressive, for my own personal use and my own personal needs. But for the most part, I really try to tread lightly in kind of all those various definitions of that phrase.
Yeah.
I will, if somebody's like, hey, you should probably try driving through that crack, peer pressure works on me, I'll give it a shot. But I don't need to try to conquer a boulder field, for example. That is not one of my, main focuses. So keeping the truck light, pound wise is exciting, because it's easier to drive. I can go faster on dirt roads, which I really like. And then as far as getting to camp and then getting to enjoying where I'm at is also important. So I don't want to be bogged down with, while there are incredibly cool things on the market that, I would love to have, there's also a part of me that says, hey, you have part of camping and overlanding for me is understanding and appreciating how awesome a house is, right? It's just warm inside. You have a toilet that flushes, you have a sink with tons of water in it. So when I go camping, I personally enjoy, going a little lighter. I don't have all the kit, but I sleep comfortably. I eat good food, and I have a good time.
Yeah, I think so. I have an idea here. We know that Tim isn't going to have a vehicle ready for the Parker trip. Tim, if you're listening,
should everyone pitch in?
I think everybody needs to pitch in and rent
Mike's
Overland.
truck.
Rent Mike's truck for the Parker trip coming up. So you may get a customer that bites on that.
2 weeks.
There you go.
But
it's, next week.
Dude, I'm never going to be ready. I don't want to talk about it yet. So,
all right.
so the idea of, and we will throw this out there. You can get a Nissan Frontier for a fraction of the price of a Tacoma, and Matt will guarantee you that it'll keep up anywhere it needs to go.
Keep up. It'll lead. It'll take the lead on any Tacoma. Stop it.
No, but in all honesty, let's talk about that for a second. The only argument I would make against that, because I think the Frontier would be a great platform to build this type of a business on, with the exception of the aftermarket support piece. Like he's trying to buy something and outfit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be the only.
There's aftermarket support, but it's just very
limited. It's limited. Yeah, like limited. The Tacoma, you'll be able to get anything.
Probably the money that you'd save on obtaining the vehicle.
Yeah,
you're going to pay a little more to
outfit it
because there's not a large market. There's not a lot of competition. But
the Tacomas are so popular.
They're
propaganda.
It's
propaganda put out there
that's what it is.
By the man.
By the deep state is trying to make you buy Toyotas because they're
conspiracy against Nissan
against Ford Rangers,
against Mike Nissan.
Bob Dotson.
Oh my! I laughed. I said. So sorry, Mike. I was doing some research on something, and you had to enter your information, and I hate doing that. Like, I want to enter my information and see where it goes before I give him my real information. So I literally typed in Bob Dotson at hotmail.com. So last week we decided that was it Frank Nissan and Bob?
It was Mike Nissan.
Mike Nissan,
and Bob Dotson were the guys that started the Nissan and Dotson company. They were cousins. I don't know how we still have a show. I don't even know why people listen to this. So the expansion of the fleet. I mean, I'm sure that's going to be. It's like the catch-22, right? If you had more fleet, you could have more people rent at one time, but you can't really expand the fleet until you start getting people booked to a point where you're all booked up, right? I mean, it's like that catch-22 of how do you when do you ramp up?
Correct. And I'm a very analytical individual, so I've kind of built this whole business in Excel. I'm fairly proficient in Microsoft Excel, so I kind of laid it out.
Watch
Oh
out.
my
Cody's getting
goodness!
excited. You guys are going to exchange numbers.
I can feel the pitter patter in my heart. We're going to talk about spreadsheets. Even in the chat room, Mud Raider was saying that I should build a spreadsheet for you, but you've already got it handled, and it makes me feel good.
Oh yeah, I'm incredibly analytical. I mean, I'm an engineer by profession, so it's just I do a lot of calculations, and Excel's just a fantastic tool for that. So I kind of built this business out.
I'm sorry. I built my first pivot table last Wednesday.
Nice.
So, and I know how to use it.
Nice.
And he's a project manager.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. That was a little tangent of my own. You guys got all.
Hey, I
had
like
to contribute.
But yeah, so I built it in Excel, and I can kind of see when certain things happen. Whether requests are made, a certain number of requests per month for the same day, or certain amounts of days per month are rented, where it makes sense to buy a second, truck. And I'm ready to buy a second truck. I just, part of that analytical thing is I'm very risk averse. So I need to, I kind of want to see how it's going.
Yeah.
And it feels, yeah. So,
you want to have
be interesting.
You want to have a backlog of business before you make an investment in for future business that you don't have yet. I mean that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, correct. I mean my wife's very understanding, but having 4 Tacomas sitting in our driveway probably wouldn't go over too well.
I can't.
I'll be like, that's my Tuesday. That's my Tuesday one.
Yeah.
I'll be like, sweetheart, it's all going to work out. Just believe me. Just believe me.
Trust me. I have to have that conversation with my wife once a year when I buy a new vehicle. But you just got that vehicle.
Yeah,
I know, but they have a new one.
It's all dirty now.
And the oil changes do. The
oil change light won't go away.
There are so many cars out there that I can't fault anybody who wants to try them all. That's one of my main gripes with automobile magazines. It's like, man, how?
Yeah,
you're inundating me with so many options that I can't reach. They're not possible. It's not attainable for somebody.
And
like me. It's like
And I think, my perspective on it is the vehicle is an investment. You buy it, you're going to use it. You're never going to get your money out of it. So you have to hope that the amount of money you've spent between the time you bought it and the time you get rid of it, it was worthwhile, right? And for me, every time I take the truck out, it's worthwhile to me.
Correct.
And you don't, it's not, a vehicle isn't a marriage. You're not stuck in it forever or 11 years and then you realize you want out. And then you... And then, but you can move on quickly.
That's a pretty accurate, 11, huh?
Yeah. That's strangely accurate, or whatever they say on Reddit.
Pretty sure. But my point
specific.
My point is,
there you go.
Someone's still holding a grudge. Yeah?
So I had at one point I had a Dodge. I had a Dodge quad cab, a Dodge Ram 4x4. It was like the truck. My wife and I decided it was going to be the truck forever, and I loved it. And it got to a point where it didn't make sense for me to have it. And I told Tammy, I'm like, let's trade it in. And she's like, you can't get rid of that truck. It's the truck. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just a truck. I will get another the truck at some point.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple since then. And it just,
Yep.
you know.
We just said this earlier. You don't care. Like, there's no, like, attachment or
I
nothing.
do
It's like,
care.
this is the truck until there's another
Yeah,
the
no,
truck.
I care
Until
while I
there's
have
another.
it. And
Until
then.
the truck comes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bronco. What would you stick with the Tacoma? Like, would you, if you're going to build another vehicle, would it be a Tacoma or are you going to get something better?
Nice. No, part of I want the business to be efficient and streamlined, so I want everything to be the same. You know, every truck will have exactly the same set
wheels.
of gear with it.
Maintenance
They'll
wise,
have the same tires.
Yeah.
Maintenance
Everything
wise,
will be the same.
And
it makes
smart to keep
maintenance and redundancy, right?
Yeah.
If you can swap parts off of one
Exactly.
onto the other, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And, you know, in all honesty, I mean, building this type of a business on that type of a vehicle is a great decision.
With that being said, we mentioned the strength or the great idea is like, well, what is it like driving with a camper shell or, you know, your rooftop tent? Well, what is it like? I drove the Tacoma last time. I want to try the Frontier this time. And, you know, there's, right? You can see.
Well, that's when I give him Matt's number.
Yeah.
We'll have a little link on the website. Goes over to Matt's website. There you go.
I mean, you can go multiple different directions. Like you can build like duty specific Tacoma, like a pure desert runner. You can build a rock crawler Tacoma. You can build an overland,
or even the inside the overland genre.
Yeah,
you have the Tacoma with the bed rack like he's got now in the rooftop tent, the Tacoma with pulling a trailer with the rooftop tent, the Tacoma with a camper shell. Yeah,
like just
I mean, you could make a whole fleet of Tacomas, all designed for quote overlanding, all in different configurations,
different ways.
It's like a 6-pack of tacos.
6-pack of tacos with cilantro on one, onions on another,
al pastor on one,
yes,
you got chicken on the other,
yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, taco plate sounds.
No,
good.
that's a good point.
But
tacos are always a good point.
You know, I want to stay real fluid. I want to take the, you know, input I receive from customers, how I notice things are going in the overlanding community, you know, as a whole on social media, and kind of tailor the direction of the company towards, you know, that aim. I don't want to be stuck in a way and say, no, they're all going to be like this. If things change over time, and, you know, I would love to have like a Go Fast camper or a Habitat on the top of one of them. I think those are just, they offer a completely they offer a different approach and a different experience because they're a different, you know, component on the truck. So those are all good points. And, you know, one of the things I need to make sure I stay focused on is paying attention to what's working and what, more importantly, what isn't working, and you know, adjust course as required, so that I can provide. You know, one of my main things is I want to just give superior quality service. You know, the truck is going to be clean every time. It's, you know, if you call me and you have no idea what you want to do, I want to, and it's the 1,000th person I've talked to, I want to give you that same enthusiasm on the telephone and say, what kind of things do you guys like? What do you like to do? You know, oh, you're bikers? Okay, excellent. I got this, this, and this.
Well, I was going to say that, sorry to cut you off, but another component that you could consider is you rattled off 4 or 5 different specific locations in the Flagstaff area. You could even go so far as to, as you build out your fleet, this one truck is, it'll do everything, but it's definitely geared towards Sedona because it has a bike rack on it and it has whatever.
Lots of crystals hanging from the.
Yes, it smells like patchouli when you open up the door.
I've been to Sedona. I know about the vortices. I know all about it.
But, you know, for for each of the
A
locations.
lot of dream catchers there too.
Yeah.
Or?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They give you one as you go, as you come in. Like here's
Even
a dream
even the
catcher,
McDonald's is green in Sedona. Even the McDonald's is green. They don't.
Yep.
But like for each of the locations, like of the map that you say, here's all the different things that we think you can do in the area. You could even tailor each of the vehicles. Like, hey, if you're going out into the forest, you're going to need the warmer tent with the warmer sleeping bags. You know what I mean? Like
You can go so many different. You can
Yeah.
go seasonal. You can go difficulty level.
yeah.
I mean, there's so many
Oh, there
different
you
ways
go.
you can outfit a truck, man.
Okay, so we need an investor. We need to find an.
I'm taking notes.
sure one of the 12 people that listen to this show has a lot of money. They don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
You reach
Yeah,
out
there
to
you go.
me.
Build out a fleet.
I'll give you Mike's contact info, and you can help him build out a fleet of like 5 to 7.
5 would be.
Yeah.
That's exactly the right number, 5 to 7.
Yeah.
That's where I see it going.
That would be, and again, going back to using the Big Bear Jeep experience as an example, that's about where Desi's at. And he does the combination of you can rent his Jeep and go out for the day. He will take you on a guided tour, or like he does,
Yes.
he does the, like corporate events. Like
Yep.
Teamwork building.
yeah, well, teamwork building, and he does a lot of work with Nexon. So when we did the Nexon ride and drive, he put Nexon. He always has Nexon tires, but all of the people that were participating were people that Nexon was working with to try to expose them to the tires.
Yeah.
So all of us got to drive different Jeeps on different size tires, all with the Nexon Roadian MTXs, and that was like a great experience. You can bring all kinds of people together. But he does do like corporate building events where you take an off-road trail and your project manager has to spot you to get you up this trail, right? I mean, and you have to learn to trust each other, which is a bad decision all the way around.
I don't think anybody wants me spotting anybody anything.
You wrecked me this weekend.
What?
You didn't. You just kept going.
Are we still
It
talking about
didn't
off-roading or?
It didn't matter what I was pointing at. You just cocoon.
Yeah, I did kind of just
cocoon.
We'll talk about that. But seriously, I mean, so the model works, right? I mean, for sure the model works because there's.
I thought your brakes went out and you were just gunning it like.
because you've talked to someone that does it. I know of like Desi up in Big Bear that does it. The model work. Pink Jeeps is it? Pink Jeep tours you talked about earlier in Sedona. The model works, and I think the difference, the advantage that you have is that you've built this vehicle for overlanding based on your experience and your personal use case. Like, I want to go overlanding. This works. And you've given someone the opportunity to experience that.
Yep. Yeah, they don't, I take all those, or I attempt to take all those unknowns off the table and give somebody a functioning product, and even if they wanted a functioning plan that I've personally done. I've been there, whether it's been the summertime, the wintertime. Exactly. And one other thing you touched on, and that if I have the time, I'd like to elaborate with is earlier I kind of talked about the near future goals, but some of the more far off future goals definitely involve guided tours. When the fleet is 5 to 7 strong, I would love to go to corporations or organizations or groups of people and say, hey, follow me. I will take you to, these unknown places that I love, the fire towers and these epic views, and join, come on for a guided tour. So that's one of the things I'd like to do in the future. And a little side note too, I'm big into sustainability. I'm big into the earth. So, a portion of each rental goes to maintaining local mountain biking and hiking trails. I'm working with a couple other business owners and individuals to create a program where a portion of each rental will go towards planting trees.
That's cool.
Because when I feel like when you invest in nature, again, like I said earlier, you kind of care about it a little bit more. And sometimes I feel like, if I have the capacity to make even a slight difference, why not? Why not do that? Why not?
That's very positive of you. Because any money that I made in that endeavor, it would go towards my new TRX. That's my new Dodge.
Oh man, the TRX is
my
sweet.
God. That just means that I got to make a lot of money
At least
But
you're
that's-
honest.
Oh yeah, that's exactly.
I'm not giving back to nobody.
I'll be out front.
Trees.
I'll tell you, thank you for renting my truck. This extra money is going to me getting a Dodge
Actually,
TRX.
I just got a TRX, so the rates are going up.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I have an idea that could help you with the fleet. Now, it's
Sure.
really going to be dependent on the status of your ability to negotiate with your wife. But I think
all
if
right.
you were able to talk her into buying a 4Runner as her daily driver,
okay.
right? So she buys a 4Runner as her daily driver. You outfit it, maybe not full overland vehicle, but lift,
Like
tires.
Overland Light.
Like a mild build.
Okay.
So now, when you book the guided tour thing, you take the 4Runner out. Somebody rents the truck, right? Now you've got two vehicles in the fleet serving multiple purposes. I mean, don't tell her I mentioned it. Don't say I don't want it to get in trouble for it. But that's the route. That's the right. You got to convince her to
Unless you have a horrible reputation with your wife, then say, "Hey,
Yeah, Cody
has
came up with a good idea."
Exactly. Whatever works to get the
Look,
4Runner.
I can't convince
However-
my wife to buy a 4Runner. What makes you think I can convince his?
Right, but she doesn't know you, like
Oh,
his
true.
wife.
I got much
you could
better
say
chance.
His last name is Rockefeller. Cody Rockefeller says we should get a 4Runner. That's all.
I'm just saying. And Tammy almost bought when we were looking for her car, she almost chose the 4Runner, and I was excited about it and scared at the same time.
You showed your tail, dude.
Yeah, I was
you were
like,
too
"Ooh."
excited about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean
That's a good idea.
yeah. So
I think she's already on board with the 4Runner. She drives a Subaru now, but one day we'll upgrade her to the 4Runner for sure.
use the Subaru for the guided tour and film that stuff. I want to see that. Like we
I was just saying this weekend, we need to find a friend that has a Subaru that they can run with us. Just because I want to see one of those in action. So unfortunately, we got to head out to Flagstaff. I guess.
Well,
But the idea of the added service, the additional service of someone that's interested in this, that wants to rent the vehicle, and then for you to say, "I will take you on a guided," I'll take you on a place to camp. We'll camp for the night and come back. That's even that much cooler because it's going to get
Yeah, exactly. I want to give people to be as free as they want to be. If you really are the type of person that would like to be guided, I want to offer that service. Or if you're the type of person that says, "Oh, no, thanks. I understand what I'm doing. I'll take the keys.
Just
I'll
give me
see
the
you
keys,
in 4
Holmes.
days."
Just give me the keys,
Yeah,
Holmes.
exactly.
I know what I'm doing.
Hey, Michael, what does the rental process look like? So, can you just walk us through?
Oh, that's a really good question. Sure. It usually starts with somebody going to the website. They'll book the truck for 2 or 3 nights through the booking software right there on the website. If they have any questions, some people have called already and had some questions about, "Hey, where should we go? We've never done this before. How many? We want to get it for a night. Is that okay?" Things like that. They'll ask questions. You'll book the truck. You'll pick your date. You'll book it on the website. You'll get an email. I'll personally reach out to you saying thanks. Where
It's available.
Where do you want the?
By the way, it's available December 10th through the 13th. Just saying.
It is.
Just saying.
Unless you guys have a spot opening up, then I'm coming down myself.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation because there's a couple people that have reached out for additional spots, and we got sponsors we're trying to get responses from, so we'll talk about that after the recording.
Sure, to finish up there for you, Jose, I'll reach out to you. I'll say, "Where do you want the truck delivered?" Because that's one of the added bonuses I see is I'll bring it right to you. I want this to be as easy as possible.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to your house. So we'll figure that out. When I get there, the day that you want it, and you can pick whatever time you want it, as well as, between 8 and 5. I'll bring it to your house. We do about a 30 to 35 minute walk around to the truck. I say, "Okay, this is how cruise control works. This is the 4-wheel drive lever, neutral." I'll figure out. I'll say, somebody might say, "Oh, hey, I already have a 3rd gen Tacoma. It just doesn't have all this stuff on it. So I already know how this thing works." Okay. So then I'll go around. I open the tent for them. I'll show them where the gear is, how to, use the Coleman stove. I kind of give them a walkthrough of how everything that comes with the truck functions. Then I kind of wrap it up by busting out the vehicle binder and saying, hey, if you have any questions, if you forget anything that I told you, this binder is full of information that tells you how to open the tent. How should you drive on a dirt road? Where's the best place to park if it's windy at night? What can I do to get good sleep? Things like, so the binders, and I just say it's right here behind the passenger seat.
Yeah.
And then,
I was going to ask about that.
I give them the keys.
If you had a binder with like how to use all the equipment, and what ifs if A, B, or C happens.
And I just thought of an idea. Another safety feature that you could offer is throw in like one of those satellite phone, like
an inReach.
Yes,
I do, actually.
Oh, do you?
I actually do have an inReach. Yep, it is. I want either if you rent it for 30 days or for 1 day. I want you to be safe. So I put a Garmin inReach in the truck for you.
Nice.
It's activated. It'll get you. You can contact me. One of the numbers in there is me, of course, because if you're lost, I want to be able to come get you.
In the Subaru.
See, I wouldn't want to know any of that crap. I'd be like, look, here's the keys. Don't call me. Just bring the truck back.
Hey, real
Just try
quick
and bring
though,
the truck back.
we're recording this as of Cyber Monday. They're on sale right now. I think they're like $100 off on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, if you guys need an inReach.
There's a lot of stuff.
Forerunners?
Oh,
No,
awesome.
the little the Forerunners are $100 off.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah, I throw in one of those battery jump packs as well, just in case.
Those are on sale too today.
I really want to, I would hate for somebody to miss out on a lifetime of adventures of exploring the world, all because the first time they went out in one of my trucks, the battery died and it just ruined their trip.
I'll tell you right now, his rental vehicle is 100 times better off than my personal take it out and wheel vehicle.
Way better than mine.
It's all equipped and dialed in, and now I just want to. I just wish it was here so I didn't have to go to New Mexico to get it.
There you go. But yeah,
come on, Matt. That was funny. Why do you roll your eyes at me?
It's not even worth a comment, dude. You can only go to that well so many times.
It took you a second to figure it out.
But yeah, it's all I wanted. I want to give people that superior quality service is really, is top of my line. Is top of my list. The truck will be good. The gear is good. But I feel like overlanding, like I said in the email, that one of the first ones is, overlanding is a community of people that are when I'm rolling through a small town and I pull up to a gas station and I'm filling up my truck and somebody invariably every time somebody walks over, whoa, what's going on? They either know about overlanding. Oh, cool. Rooftop tent. Where are you guys headed? Or they're totally curious about it. What is this? Where are you guys going? This is a thing? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a community of folks that, I want to be a part of, and I want to, try my best at it, I guess.
Hey,
so, yeah.
A quick question. So I was looking at the map to see how long it would take me to get to Flagstaff to pick your truck up, and it's like 7 hours from here. And I noticed that to get there, you have to drive by Seligman. Have you ever been to Seligman, Arizona?
Oh yeah. I think it's pronounced Seligman, but it's just west on the 40.
Yeah. So I have a friend that owns land out there, and he's like, you should come out and just have an event and camp on my land.
Wait. This is the first we're hearing of this. Why wouldn't you bring that? Bring that up
because
sooner.
Seligman, Arizona isn't like top of mind, but so he owns land out there, and he's got I think he's got like a makeshift hut type thing, but he was like there's
what?
He uses it for hunting. It's like a hunting place.
Makeshift hut.
A makeshift?
I don't know. Like he's got a shipping
grocery bag or something?
A shipping container with a toilet in it. I don't know the details. All right, look, I'll get the details.
Bro, this is big time news.
But it's 6 hours away. But he was saying like from his land, he said you can go out there and wheel for days. He said there's all kinds of wheeling out there. Yeah. So I think next year's one of next year's expeditions might be Seligman. Seligman, and we'll coordinate with Overland Flagstaff to set up a a run out in Seligman, whatever that is,
Arizona.
Yeah, it's in between.
Yeah.
It's in between Crookton and Yampai. Yampai. Well, Yampai, is that how you say that?
I actually don't know. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, that's the city. So, but yeah, look, I think this is, I think it's a great idea. I think and it sounds like everything we've talked about, it sounds like you've already thought about it. Like you've already done your due diligence. You've tested it.
Yeah.
You've got it all dialed in to the point where it's not like renting someone my truck, where they'd be hosed if they ran into a problem.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Matt.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully it starts. Hopefully it doesn't overheat on you. Hopefully
There you go.
it's not already busted. Let's not talk about the glass.
Oh yeah,
Like,
well,
we go on
it's
and
gotten
on about
worse.
glass.
It has gotten worse. We'll have more conversations about my glass here
It's
in a minute.
that built Ford Tough glass.
Yes, it's Ford Tough glass. But again, I think it's a great opportunity for either someone that is new to the idea of camping and overlanding, or someone has already got the bug and they want to test out a rig that can. Just a total. How close are you to an airport?
The Flagstaff Airport is probably 7 miles from my house.
So someone could feasibly fly into the airport. You could pick them up at the airport and they could take off from there. I mean, someone.
I do. Yeah, I also do delivery. I will deliver and pick up the truck from Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, Arizona as well.
There you go.
There is a fee associated with that, but I will bring it right to the terminal.
Yeah, think about that. If someone from, any of the Southern California, Utah, Texas, all of those, that Southwest Airlines hub into Phoenix, you can catch a flight for $40 round trip. You know what I mean? And fly in, pick up the truck, go wheel in the Flagstaff area for 2 days and come home.
That's pretty dope.
Dude, we got to do that.
Yeah, you can head south to Tucson if you want. You can go wherever you want.
You need to get 2 more vehicles because I think we're going to fly in like in February. We'll fly in. We'll book it right now for February. So we need 2 more vehicles.
After my Instagram blows up being on your guys' podcast, man, I'm just going to do speed book.
You might want to push that back from February to like.
You should.
Well, it's not even
February's good.
months.
You're just saying what year,
Yeah,
though.
exactly. Like 2025.
You might want to recalibrate your expectations on our input.
But thanks though.
Yeah.
If you lose followers, expect that too.
Yeah. He talked to those yahoos. All of our followers came from a contest, and no one wants to listen to us anymore. But seriously, this is a great idea, man, and I think it's super interesting that you started it like a handful of days ago, and here we are having the conversation about it. And thank you to Tim, who's probably not in the chat room anymore. Tim for getting us connected like this. That was a great idea. I'm very interested to see how it plays out, and I am hoping that we get the chance to connect soon and kind of get into more detail about it. But I mean, you've got a winner. You've got a winner here. So people, please, if you want to do this, go find him at overlandflagstaff.com, on Instagram and on Facebook at Overland Flagstaff, and that is in Arizona, people. Just so you know,
not New Mexico.
It's not the Flagstaff, New Mexico. It's Flagstaff, Arizona. But no, seriously, thanks for coming on the show and telling the story, because I really see this as an opportunity. This is going to be something big, and like 6 months from now, we're not going to be able to get on your calendar and talk about it anymore.
Oh yeah, no, you guys. I have tremendous respect for you guys. You're already, putting me on the thing you created that you've been working on for years, and that you put your life into. So I won't forget this.
Well, thank you, but it's like you said, Cody feeds us, so there's
some incentive.
Tammy feeds you. Cody didn't do anything. True. Tammy feeds you. Okay. If it was up to me, you'd get that text that you get every week that says you better pick up food on your own.
Dinner on your own.
Dinner on your own tonight. Like if Tammy's not here, that's the message that goes out at 3:00 in the afternoon. Dinner on your own tonight. I ain't making you nothing. Either that, or
I don't
pick
want
me.
You making
either that, or pick me up some food on your way here.
Yeah, Jose, pick up a pizza at Costco real quick.
It's been a while since you've done that. No, man, this is good times, and I feel like I really hope that this this grows quickly for you, and you find yourself in the fortunate/unfortunate position where you're trying to ramp up fast enough to keep up with demand. I think that would be an awesome story to hear, and we'll talk about it again 6 months from now. We'll have another conversation about how well it's doing.
Fantastic.
And,
all right, fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it. So, anything else that you want to any place else people should go other than the Instagram, Facebook, and website, or anything else you want to depart with?
Nope, you guys, yes, you wrapped it up just fine, and I just want to finish up by saying thank you again for bringing me onto this thing that you created, and I really appreciate the exposure, and I hope that the Parker trip works out and I'm able to tag along, because I would really like to meet you guys in person. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining. You have a great night. Hey, are you looking to upgrade your PC, whether it be for gaming or for video production or whatever your needs are? Go to evga.com and check out their products. They make top-of-the-line graphics cards, power supplies, gaming keyboards, audio cards, cooling systems, accessories, cases, motherboards, you name it, they've got what you need to build a PC. They've stepped up and helped us build a really solid machine for the streaming that we've been doing on YouTube. And if it wasn't for these guys, we'd still be fumbling around trying to figure it out. Please support them. Go to evga.com. At checkout, use the code Trailchasers, and you can get up to 10% off anything you purchase. So go to evga.com, use the checkout code Trailchasers to get a discount. Thanks, EVGA.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trailchasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. All right. So as we were talking about with Mike, Parker trip's coming up. I am
It's a point of no return now, dude.
Yeah, at this point, I mean,
things are set in motion.
Shirts have been ordered, stickers have been delivered.
Is there like some doubt? Like,
no, I'm just saying, like,
something.
Well, I'm at the point where,
Jose,
like,
are you going?
I don't know. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not started any form of preparation, and I'm not going to be able to do much this weekend. And so I may ask that you guys like buy me food and just like.
I had started preparing. I had tried to start preparing for the trip, but like I said before, Land Cruiser ownership sucks when you got to buy parts, because there are still some parts that I ordered like 4 weeks ago that are in limbo, dude.
And the truck still runs.
It runs, but it's not. There's a couple things that I need to fix on it.
All right, that's on you.
Yeah, no, it's like for this long trip, I have to get them fixed. But, yeah, and I had ordered something that said it was going to be ready by the certain date, and it's already week 4 on this thing, and I don't know if it's going to happen by the trip or not.
Is it major? What is it?
It was. So I had put in an order with I won't say who it is.
For what?
For a tire carrier and a gas can holder.
Well, but that's not necessary. I mean,
what do I need?
That?
Well, dude, I'm tired of carrying the gas and the spare tire.
You're not going to need gas for this trip at all.
Yeah, Parker's right there.
Yeah,
There's a gas station right there.
we're 10 minutes away from a gas station, so no, I'm not taking any gas.
This was my excuse to buy it. I'm like, I don't want to carry all this stuff in the truck anymore.
So you don't need the gas, but the spare tire, agreed. Yeah. But if it didn't come in, it's not like it would stop you from going on the trip.
No, it was just a quality of life thing. Like, I wouldn't have to carry the spare tire and stuff in the truck. Well,
if you don't get it today, like if you don't get it Friday, it's not going on the truck.
So I called today, and
you said, "What the hell, dude?"
I just said, just let me know now. Like, is this gonna happen or is it not gonna happen?
Jose's
the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, Jose's that girl in high school. I just want to know what are we? Are we dating? Are we thing?
What is our title? No. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get on there.
Oh yeah.
But I was excited. They said it was going to be able to do it, but COVID or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Joe K, he ordered wheels and suspension. And he's like there's the slightest chance that it's going to be available before, like, he's like, oh, it's not going to happen. Like, can you imagine going on this trip, coming home and finding the package at your doorstep?
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that would be, so he's stressing. So that's one of those things where, like, you know, if it doesn't happen, I mean, if you don't get it, you don't get it. I need a new transfer case skid plate, and I can't find one anywhere, so that it's available. So I might have to bend the old one back into place. Yeah,
just hammer the other one out.
You might want to just slow down a little bit when you're climbing some rocks. I don't know. You brought that up earlier. We went to.
Yeah, you guys went to Calico.
So Joe K put together a trip.
Yes,
we've been talking about doing Calico for a while.
I know,
and I've only been there once, and I didn't have a lot of experience with it, so we decided to do a pre-run. So this is more like a exploration run. Joe K put together the map, and Matt, and I went.
There, dude.
It's super cool. And if you've ever wheeled Calico, that's what you're gonna get at the.
I feel like that's a good segue to
the Parker trip. Correct. It's the same type of terrain. The thing. Like, Joe put together a map, and he and I looked at it a couple days before we went, and it all looked good. It all made sense. But when we got there, like a mile and a half in, we had to turn around because it was like, nope, that's too gnarly. And so we found ourselves making a lot of like U-turns and adjustments, which is why we went with the small group. Because if we tried to do this blind with 20 people, it would have been a disaster.
You would have lost a day.
And it took a lot longer to do 10 miles than I thought it was going to. Like, just because
it was slow paced.
It was very slow, but super cool. Yeah. And he did a good job of recording the tracks, and he sent it to me. So I'm going to try to take that and like map it. Go, okay, these are the places to avoid. There were some spots that were, I would say, hairy for someone that like some of the up and over stuff, and you know, you're on an edge. But super good terrain. I
pretty much cruised in 4 low with my locker on for a while.
Yeah. Me too.
When we started climbing some of those hills and some of the rocks, and it was just a lot of not off camber, but you know, wheels up, multiple wheels up at a time.
Yeah.
Like you're literally
climbing up over any hill with ruts at the top.
Yeah. And just 4-wheel locker on. Just, you know what? I ain't playing any games. I just want to make it up some of this stuff without any problems. And, you know, the tires hook up great. I mean, we talk about that all the time, but the tires were great. The truck performed awesome.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time because it's like, that's such a major component.
Take it for granted at this point.
It's such a major component. The Rodian MTXs just click. They just connect. And the one thing I noticed about, or that I loved about Calico, was the variance of terrain. Like, we would be down on sandy, not like sand wash, but like soft over hard type terrain.
Yeah, like a wash.
Like a wash in like a big valley in you know, with canyon walls on either side. And then all of a sudden we found ourselves on these rollers where it's like super tight, but you're going up and over and up and over. And then all of a sudden we ended up like in Red Rock. Like, we ended up climbing up and down some of these stairs. Like, so Matt, the one we're talking about, we got to a point where I think, were you leading, or was Joe leading?
Joe was in front, and we were coming down. We had climbed to the top of that mountain or hill. And it was like, I think we got to head back. And so it was equally difficult the way we came up and then the way we went down. You know, there was 2-foot drops, you know, where it was, you know,
there were several stair steps all the way down.
And we hit a pinch point where, there's traffic the other way. Well, there's nowhere to go. I
guess that's what I got on the radio, and I'm like, I hope they can back up, because I'm literally looking at rocks on both sides of my truck. Like, there was nothing, and it was a guy in a Can-Am, a 4-door Can-Am, and he squeezed over, and the guy was super cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And he helped guide us through.
That's cool.
And I was the last one.
He helped guide me and Joe through, and then I think he helped you through the first section.
No, he said, do you need a spotter? And I was like, no, man, I got it.
Yeah, and then you didn't slow down. You just kept going. There was like 3 sets of climbs or stairs or whatever, and it was just. And I'm trying to point to you like I need to get out of the way. Like you ain't stopping. So yeah,
so I need a transfer case skid plate.
I heard a lot of crunching.
There was one. Dude, okay, so we're coming up and over. Matt was leading, and he's like, we're like, okay, are you clear? And he says, yeah. There's a pretty hard bank on the right hand side.
Bang,
Bang. Hard, right? So bang. I heard a pretty hard bank on the right hand side. So I got Tammy and Presley in the truck. We get to the top.
On the right hand side it was much higher. There was a hill right there. So how is there a bank
know
that way?
So
how does that make any sense? I'm
thinking it's as I crested, and because you're going up a hill, you're cresting, you can't see the trail in front. Right. You're just looking at your hood.
Right.
So I'm picturing the right side of the trail banking down as you come over the crest, right? Yeah. So no, it was a bang. And I didn't go over that crest softly, and I came over and it dropped onto my white knuckle sliders.
I heard it from like 100 yards away. I was gonna go walk over, and then he ain't slowing down.
No, and I will tell you, I came down on those white knuckle sliders, and it like almost shattered my teeth. I came down so hard. The girls were not happy. Presley was not happy about it. But the truck was in good shape because the sliders protected it.
Yeah, so really bitchin' trail. That was like we had never gone in that area, so you're still kind of leery. Like, I don't know what's up ahead. You kind of want to get out because there's so many cresting hills. I actually put video of it on my Instagram. But then once you kind of get it, like, oh, this is just going to be a bunch of rollers. Like, this is going to be a neat little trail for the next mile or two. It was a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun.
And so thinking about going back to, we only had 3 vehicles. The most, I think the hardest part to explain to a passenger in that situation is when we're going out to those areas, we map it out on a computer.
Yeah.
And it looks like everything's good. Right. But once you get out there, you don't know. You don't know what's on the other side of that hill. And like the only way to find out is to go and have faith in the vehicle that you're going to get there, right? And so that's a little bit harder. Like it's very different than, when we go on the Mojave Trail, which we've done 20 times and we're like, yeah, no, we know what's coming up next. Like no,
this is where I lose my cooler every year because I just haul ass right.
We're not doing that section next year, right?
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do next year. I found a bypass
that 30, that 45 minutes of just up and
I found a bypass. We'll talk about that when it comes. But so we were doing a lot of stopping, getting out and looking, a lot of exploring. It was super cool terrain, very very like picturesque, different colored rocks. Like I want to go back and I want to plan a good trip with everybody because that trail that Joe mapped out that we ended up on, that was a fun off-road day. Like it was great.
Yeah. And then I was going to comment, we our group had some comments on the people that were camping there.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we found Thunderdome, but I think we found Thunderdome residents in like the Thunderdome
suburbs. Yeah.
The suburbs of Thunderdome.
Yeah.
We were close to Thunderdome.
It's Thundervale. It was
Thundervale. We were cruising around Thundervale.
So here's a couple of things. Like, this is now
and this might insult you, but these are my concerns.
Get ready. All right. If
this insults you,
what you're getting.
Yeah, whatever.
So this is the 3rd or 4th trail that we've been on in the last year that had shotgun shells, casings, clay, pigeons.
It's not just the
trash,
shells. It's the
easy
shit
ups.
that shot up.
Yeah, the trash on the side. So it's like you go out there and not even 10 minutes off of the highway.
No,
there was a vehicle there with Arizona plates on it.
It's just
vehicle there with Arizona plates on it. 4 people in like velour sweatpants and like and literally like standing behind the Jeep Liberty, shooting at the wall 30 feet away, like on the main trail. Like it was like in every direction, people, and it was like not like a planned everybody shoot this direction. You would just come around a corner and there'd be a whole bunch of people there shooting into the wall. Like and trash everywhere. It was it was bad.
So I'm not used to
We're still up.
like canyon camping, I guess, or whatever. But there was a lot of people stuffed in a tight little area, and everybody had their own like little, I don't want to say cove, but
Shooting corral.
yeah, exactly. A shooting, exactly. It was almost like you were there, Jose. A shooting corral, just tens of yards away from the other shooting corral.
And there's alcohol.
And they're like
there's-
opposing directions to where
I don't even care about that. That whatever. It's kind of cool. Like I was telling Jose earlier, 10 years ago, Matt, I'd have probably been like, "What are you shooting?" Like, and just stumbling around. But I got kids now.
Yeah.
And so when what that was upsetting, or I don't say upsetting, it's your kids.
unnerving,
concerning.
probably.
Yeah, like there were kids riding back, twofold on quads and bikes without helmets, cruising around. There's guns going
No
off
gear.
everywhere.
Yeah, no riding
was like,
gear.
This is.
At
Is this the entrance
Yeah.
to Thunderdome?
And-
The entrance is in there.
And some of the people were shooting in a direction where you're like, there's a real possibility that could ricochet. That could hit a rock and ricochet. Like, no one's paying. I thought, like,
Rick a who?
like,
Dude, it's always so sketchy driving through like BLM land where you can shoot on, like it's a shooting designated. So Calico is one of those spots. Big Bear, like quarter of the way up, there's a little offshoot and just open designated shooting.
the fact that they don't clean up their shit, that is
That
the most
sucks, dude.
frustrating. Like, these are people that, and I don't want to go down too far a path. These people, let's put it this way. These people will be the reason that we lose access to public lands. Like, that is, if you're an off-roader and you don't shoot, or you're a shooter that off-roads,
Just pick up your shit.
Not picking up your shit is putting the rest of us in jeopardy. It's putting our access to public lands in jeopardy because it was bad. It was so bad. There was one area where I would say it was a 6 to 7 foot radius shotgun shells. You couldn't even see dirt.
Yeah.
And then out on the hill is whatever statue or whatever it was they propped up there to shoot at, and they just left it there. Like, it was just horrible. It was the trip was great, but it was very disturbing to see the people shooting irresponsibly and the people riding around on quads irresponsibly, and it just kind of at one point there was a furniture truck. There was a
cabinet truck.
There was a furniture truck. Like, you could tell.
That's when I knew we were getting like back to. I guess the trail's over because somehow somebody got a furniture truck out back here.
So you could tell the guy works at a furniture store, and he was going out for the holiday weekend, and he's like, "Boss, can I borrow the truck?"
Because it said Mathis Brothers on the side.
Yes, it was something like that.
Yeah.
And they loaded up all the quads and stuff in the furniture truck and drove the box van and drove it out there. That's exactly what it is.
I hate to sound like an old fart or whatever, complaining about these damn kids are riding around without their helmets and not, but you're right. It is.
Let me ask you this: have you ever ridden without your helmet?
Never.
No.
Never.
Okay.
Never. Not even. That's just.
It's
stupid. None of my friends or people that I ride with would allow it.
No.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get off.
Yeah. Your quads aren't designed to have two people on them. There are like the Grizzlies, the hunting ones that are, but a normal quad is not designed to have two people on them.
Okay.
And then you've got like one person in the front, the other person just holding on, and with no helmet. It's super easy to lift the front end of that quad up and
Even
dump
just
someone on their
tip
back.
it,
Yeah,
tipping it, turning too
it is.
You get their feet tangled in like the chain, or
the
back
exhaust
wheel.
pipe get burned.
Yeah,
it is.
dumb.
And to your point, man, I'm not trying to be a crotchety old bastard. Like, I don't want them to have fun. I want them all to have fun. But
recreate all you want.
Yes,
just pick
but
up
the
your
more
trash.
times the more times people go out there, don't pick up their trash or get injured, and someone from the Forest Service or BLM, that becomes one more ding on those people that go off-roading, those campers out in the desert, and we get lumped in with that, and it's ridiculous.
I think normally it was just, dude, that's what I do. Like I go out. I've been doing it for over 20 years. Where I go ride my dirt bike, I go camping with. Yeah, those are my people, you know. But my specific friend, I think it's because we go so far out and we're not that close. Like maybe it's just,
you don't see it as much.
We're trying to move away from the idiocy or people like that. And if you go to Razor Road, go to Razor Road right now. Is it all trashed up? No. It's actually very clean. The whole road in. But go to Johnson Valley, as we've seen, especially after a big weekend. I was shocked and super disappointed after that cleanup. I couldn't believe people would actually, desert people would actually leave it that way. That was super disappointing. But like I said, the people where I go, it's pristine right now. There's not a trash bag. There's not a bag of chips somewhere laying in a bush. It's usually very clean.
And I wonder, you made a good point. Like the people that we're talking about right now, where they were right, basically as deep as you could get off of the highway in a 2-wheel drive minivan. Like that's the extent of where they went. Whereas Razor Road, whereas some of the other places we camp,
very purpose.
If you don't have an off-road vehicle, you're not getting out there.
Yeah.
So maybe the people in those areas are different,
not experienced
and
enough,
new,
and they don't know.
They probably don't even realize they're doing it.
But my argument with that is just because if I go to a different city, does that mean I can throw my trash on the floor because I've never been there before? And that's better. People know better, right?
True.
Well, I would think, I would hope. But no, so that was, other than the trail was great. Joe did a great job of mapping it out, and Matt and Joe led 99% of it, so I didn't have to. I'm really appreciative of that. It was a good time. We're definitely going to plan a trip back. I just don't know when.
How'd the Frontier look? Looked pretty rad, right?
I was telling Tammy,
sweet.
like there was at one point you were up on a hill.
Look at that.
Yeah, you were up on a
so
hill
hot.
getting ready to crest over, and I told Tammy, I'm like, damn, Matt's truck looks really good. It does. It's got this
dialed in now.
It does. It's got this stance to it.
Yeah.
It's super sporty, and like it definitely gives you a couple sexy points. Like if you step out, you get back right down.
Back
like
down.
the minute you get out of the truck, your sexy points
How about
drop
if I
again.
have the windows down
Yes.
just slightly? Is that a ratio? Like as the window goes
the
down?
farther down it goes. But no, I mean, all three of the vehicles did really well, and Joe's still on basically the stock suspension and stock wheels in the Rubicon, and he did really well. I mean, there was a couple of challenging spots, and he pulled through just fine. So we will definitely have to do a trip back to Calico. One of the things though, like that's a 10 vehicle trip. Like I don't see us doing 20 vehicles in that area because it's just so tight.
Yeah, the very limited trail run experience I have there. Yeah, it's too tight.
Yeah. It's you would lose too many people, even if we had a really good plan. So that's something I want to do. Next thing I want to talk about is the Ranger. I still love my truck, but I'm going to rant a little bit.
Oh, okay. If you're going to complain about it, please do.
So we need,
especially after we just talked about how nice and how sporty mine looked.
So you guys remember a couple weeks ago, I had the conversation about how much difficulty I had getting the side window replaced in the Ford Ranger. Mm-hmm. Right? And the reason I had to get it replaced is the factory window was warped.
It looked like you were peering into a portal of time.
Yeah. Like, it was...
What year is it out there?
Yeah,
like,
if I looked out the passenger side window, like cars would look like they were a quarter-inch tall, and it would make Tammy sick. So went back and forth with the Ford dealer. After 10 days, finally got the side window repaired. Over the week before Thanksgiving, Tammy, when we did the remote recording, Tammy and I were up in Big Bear, and she's like, "Hey, look at this!" And starting from the door panel was a crack that started to come up,
dude.
And when she noticed it, it was probably on our way up there Sunday. It was maybe 1.5 2 inches long, from the door panel.
So you know exactly what that looks like.
Yes, so it's average, right?
It's above average.
It's average. This is. But much like me, it was a grower. Not a shower. And so we literally, over the course of a couple of days, and I took various pictures, we literally watched it grow from that 1.5 inch. It went, and that was about in the middle of the window. It went at a 45-degree angle to the A-pillar all the way around and then had like 6 or 7 branches out and around. It looks like there's a spider web embedded.
So I think that's like an option from the factory. You can either have like the time distortion window,
it's a Marvel,
or you can have
the top.
kaleidoscope.
It's the topographic. I figure it's the topographic.
Spider-Man edition.
I think it's kaleidoscope. I think it's the kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope package.
I just couldn't even.
The Sedona package.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe that this window was just replaced October 10th.
Jeez.
And here we are at Thanksgiving, and it's the window's completely destroyed. It's shot. Like I'm worried about rolling the window down.
Yeah, don't. It might shatter.
Yeah. So when we got back, so literally, and as we were driving back from Big Bear on Wednesday, Tammy was like, "Oh, look, I think this one's going to connect with this one." And we were watching the cracks like connect with each other and make a map. And so I called the dealership, the service manager at the dealership on Wednesday, and said, "Hey,
because you guys are on first name basis now."
I said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but this is the Ford Ranger." I said, we have an issue with the side window that you guys installed. Please call me. So that was Wednesday. I figured he was probably gone and they were closed for the holiday weekend. I did not get a phone call today. So tomorrow I'm going to reach out, but that's pretty effing disappointing.
You could say it.
No, but then I'd have to edit it.
Whatever. You got your notepad. You're ready.
I'll do it for you. It's pretty fucking disappointing.
Dag, learn it.
Yeah. That was a late one.
It was.
You can't blow your load.
That's
on
why
all of them.
everybody's been waiting.
I know.
Actually, 17 people are watching.
People
right
drop
now.
off now. He said it.
It's like, we got it, guys. Mark it.
It's just really disappointing that I had to go through the struggle and back and forth and no communication for 10 days to finally get it fixed. And if you remember when I first brought it up to the guy at service, he was like, "Well, I don't know if they're going to cover that. We have to talk to Ford." What? I didn't put the window in. Like, I don't understand why that would not be covered by Ford. So the service manager said, "Yeah, it's covered. We'll take care of it." But for them to install and for that crack to come from the inside the door panel and work its way up, they nicked that thing when they put it in.
Yeah.
They over tightened it or they nicked it or something, and it was like, oh crap! They put it in anyway. They put it in anyways. Yes,
they were hoping it wouldn't be an issue.
I bet if I took the door panel off, there's a piece of duct tape in the bottom trying to hold it from expanding. But seriously, they either nicked it or over tightened it or something down at the bottom, and it finally worked its way up. And once it got up past the door rubber, it's ridiculous. So now I have to get a hold of the freaking service department, have them order another one. This time I'm not in a position to be able to leave my car for 10 days.
Yeah. It's the inconvenience.
It's the time, dude. It's the time.
Exactly. Like, hey, I'm making payments on this truck. This is clearly like a factory issue. Dude, that window was so warped. Like, it made me car sick.
Yeah, Tammy.
If I looked out that,
Tammy,
I couldn't look out that window.
She would
Imagine not being able to look out one of your windows. It was that distorted. And now, you gave them an opportunity to fix it. Hey, now it's broken.
What I hate the most about it's not just dealerships, it's just business or service industries across the whole board is like, dude, they're so eager to take your money. They will return your phone calls as soon as you call. If you're interested in buying a car, dude,
the sales guy will call you 5 times a day.
The manager will call you.
We have a deal. Dude, come on by.
Come on by. Let's. What is it going to take to close out this deal? But as soon as there's any issue, dude, that service goes out the window. You have to keep calling them. They don't return phone calls. You send text messages. It sucks, dude. I hate that about any service industry. It sucks so bad, dude. And I get it. People are busy.
But your service industry is designed to provide service.
Yes.
That's and trust me, I'm like, as a service operations manager for many years, like that's the thing. If a customer has to work that hard to get a hold of someone on my team or me to get an answer, we are not providing service.
Yeah.
So with car dealerships for the past, half my life, it's not like I bought a ton of cars, but when it comes to the negotiating part, I tell them up front, dude, I'll play the game. I'll play the very long game. It's up to you. Do you want to, I'm shopping around. I need to know that I'm happy and I fought as hard for the best deal. So it's up to you. We either do it and you give it to me now or, I'll go someplace else or whatever. And it's like the same thing with this, like a service situation. If I'm not happy and you guys screw me over, I'm going to fight. I'm going to be really pissed off and I'm going to make your life miserable. So let's just fix my shit and get me out of here.
Yeah. Well, after spending 4 years managing tech support and warranty, and then after another 3.5 years of being a service operations manager, I will tell you that I take the different approach. So here's Cody's advice on dealing with customer service. Like, I used to get angry.
Oh, well,
but I will tell you that when you get the first time you call and get angry,
you're not getting
you're
anywhere.
The last person they're going to worry about, right? So what I've learned over time, because I would
I'll go in there and I'll steal all your Wildcat emblems. I'll be that guy.
I would have, so going back to 2007-8, so I was managing tech support for a large organization. And these calls would come in and they would escalate. My team would be like, they want to talk to you. So I'd pick up the phone and the guy would start with you effing mother, effing whatever, blah, 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 blah. Matt knows of one of these situations.
Matt knows. Do I know that guy?
Matt knows of one of these situations. To the point where I would say, hey, you know what, bud? I really want to help you. Do you think calling me names is going to make me want to help you more or less?
To make me feel better.
And that's exactly
when they call you names.
And you know what? And you know what? I didn't build the machine in the first place. Do you want me to help? Yeah. And so I learned that from that experience that now what I do when I call customer service or deal with a service manager or at the dealership, it's always, I have a problem. I would like to know if you want to help me to fix it. And I get them to say yes. Or, hey, do you think we can come up with a solution to this problem? And when they say yes, they have now committed to creating a solution to your problem. And I get much better results that way.
So all those years working in a bank and then being that internet repair technician, people don't want to hear no. They just want to hear, what options do I have?
Yeah.
Just give me options.
Yep.
I know we can't fix this right now, but these are the options that I can do right now, sitting in front of this computer trying to fix your internet.
So I got to tell this. This is my favorite. This is when I first started this job. I had a whole team of tech support guys, and I'm walking by one of my guys, and I could hear the tech on this is an air conditioning tech on the other line yelling. And I look at Tim and I'm like, are you good? And he's like, I'm good. He gets off the phone. He's like, that dude was not happy. The system's not working. And it's a system that I'd installed multiple times. And I said, he's probably got the wires crossed. He said, you know what, Cody? I asked and he does not. Okay, fine. A day later, the guy calls back. It's still not working. He's screaming at Tim. At this point, Tim's like, I don't even know what to do with the guy. Then I think the third time he called, Tim walks in my office. He's like, he wants to speak with the manager. And I said, okay, great. So I pick up the phone. How you doing, sir? Same thing. Screaming, calling me names, and I'm a bastard because this system, I didn't build it. I'm here to help. So the first thing I said is I said, you know what? Let's check your wiring. It's not the effing wire. I've told your guy goddamn so many times, blah, 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 wiring. I said, no. I know you've got the wiring done.
Eliminate all possibilities.
I'm 100%. But I want you to know I'm drawing this out so that I can physically see it like I'm looking with you.
What color wires?
Yes.
Did you use?
So let's start at the panel. And what color do you have connected to terminals 1, 2, and 3? Red, white, and green. Awesome. Okay, so I'm writing that down. Red, white, green. Let's go over to the actuator. What color wires do you have connected to 1, 2, and 3? Well, I'll call you back. And so this guy, after 3
You should have
days,
called him back.
yeah, no,
I would have called him back every day.
so listen,
Sir,
For 2
the phone
weeks.
cut off.
I'm
Is
sorry,
everything
are you
okay?
still having issues,
so
sir?
after 3 days of screaming at us about how stupid we were, now mind you, he's on his own time at this customer site trying to fix this issue that we asked him about the first time. I said to Tim, I said, we will never hear from that guy again. Tim comes into my office about 3 hours later and he's like, I just got a call from the guy and he wanted to say that he was sorry.
Wow.
Yes, he said he was sorry. He should have listened to me in the first place, but his ego got to him and he'll learn a lesson. He'll never do that again. And that was like, it was the worst and best outcome of a technical support call I've had in a lot of years because they never call back. You never hear from them. You find out later that their brother-in-law was.
So tell that story.
Do you want me to tell that story?
Yeah. He ain't listening.
So as you know, Matt and I are both in the air conditioning industry, and I get one of my guys. This is the same company. I'm a regional manager at this tech support. One of my guys comes in. He's like, I have this a-hole on the line and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, what's the problem? He's like, well, he wants warranty coverage for this failed coil. And I'm like, okay, did he do the startup sheet? He's like, he doesn't want to have that conversation. He wants to talk to the manager. All right, cool. What's the ticket number? I bring the ticket number up and I see Matt's last name. I see Matt's brother. And I was like, gosh. I said, I'll take this. So now at this point, I know who this is. He doesn't know who I am.
Who he's speaking to, right?
So I jump on. Hey man, how you doing? This is Cody. I talked to my guy. This is what's going on, and he starts lighting me up. And I said, you know what? I totally get your frustration. I fully understand. Let me help you out with this. So this is what we can do. These are the options that I have to help you. But in order to do that, here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need some paperwork for you to, I'm not going to fill out the mother effing blah, 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 blah. And at this point, Matt walks in.
I walk into his office and I hear the other half of the conversation.
So he hears his brother screaming at me. Did you hear me? Because I was on speaker,
yes.
right?
Oh yeah. As soon as I heard you, I went, oh my God. I gotta go outside. I can't be a part of this.
So I'm literally and here's the thing. I was like, dude, I need to submit a startup sheet with this information.
Just fill out a startup sheet.
And in every manual of every model sold, there's a startup sheet in the back.
Download one.
Literally
something.
Make it up. All I need is the correct model number and serial number. After that, I don't care what's on the page.
I don't care when you installed it. I don't care whether you filled this out the day you
can have been any more blunt. Like, I need startup sheet.
And so I said, look, I really want to help you. My hands are tied unless I submit this form.
He almost broke it down to grab an old Burger King receipt out of your truck and write down the model and serial number.
I was like,
just send it to me.
I'm like, man, look, I really want to help you. I can't do
anything. But without this sheet that anyone can fill out.
He was not having it. It was like he did not want to be bothered with finding a pen. Like he was not having it. So my assumption is now, and this was I legitimately had the opportunity to provide him a new part and labor money.
You just need
to repair.
Sheet.
He, out of spite,
because he
was insulted. He had to call somebody.
Yes, because he refused to fill out the paperwork. He had to do that on his own dime.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been in the service industry, but I wouldn't talk to someone like it. Just sucks unless you've been in that. You wouldn't call a call center like that and go off like that.
Oh, you would be amazed.
But I'll tell you. So this just happened to me less than 6 months ago. I get phone calls for to sell they're trying to sell me vinyl windows for my house.
American Integrity windows.
Yes. And usually I numbers that you don't recognize, you just let it go to voicemail, and half the time they don't even leave voicemail. But this one was had hit me 3 times in a day, and it happened to be it was tied to a family member's I was a reference type thing. But
timeshare?
No. But they're cryptic when they call. Is this Matt Dieterle?
I don't know.
I don't know who's this. well, I kind of need to know if this is Matt. Dude, you just called me out of the blue. I'm not going to give you. So I already I'm not irate, but I already have a bad attitude.
You're already annoyed at the fact. Yeah.
I'm going to take this call and I know it's going to be bullshit. And I'm just going to tell, let's do it. I'm in the mood. And so after finally some give and take or whatever, yes, this is Matt. And he's all, dude, that's all I needed to know. So and such, is used you as a reference or whatever. Is this a valid address? I'm all, I don't know what their address is, dude, but I apologize. I didn't mean to be so blunt and rude. But you know what? I get 6 phone calls a day from either Windows, car insurance, warranty,
car extended warranty.
Yeah,
yes.
it's like, man, you know what? Your job sucks.
There's a lot of fraud going on right now too.
Yeah, but that could have been handled very differently if they said, "Hi, I'm calling to," because I've had this. I'm calling to verify a reference. I'm calling to verify that you were put as a reference, and I'm calling to verify. That would have been like,
do you know who so and so is?
Yes, yes, and I would have been Jose. I've never heard of that dude. I don't even know. But it's
fraud.
Yeah,
that fraudulent.
God,
fuck me $20.
Oh, come on, man! Come on, you guys.
I'm getting tired.
No,
that deadbeat owes me money too. Let's track him down.
Oh man. So you had said that people calling you wouldn't call up that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I couldn't. Yes. I couldn't as angry as I am with the company, dude. It's not the person on the other.
Yes, that's why I always start with, "Would you please help me?"
Yeah,
and they always. But I will tell you. So I took this. So I was working at IBM. My contract ended, and I applied for a crap ton of jobs, and I got this job. And the title was Regional Customer Assurance Manager. Ugh. I had no idea what it was. They called and asked me to do an interview. I went in and interviewed twice. I still wasn't entirely sure what it was, but I needed a job and the pay was good. And so I took the job. So once I dialed in kind of what my role was and I realized I was handling the tech support and all that stuff, there was at one point, it was maybe 2 weeks in, and these types of phone calls are coming in. And and at this point, it's in between a transition from one company to another company, and we're the new company, and people are screaming because their shipment from the old company isn't here yet, even though we didn't sell it. We're now the factory representatives. And at one point, I closed the door to my office. I put my head down and I went, I f***ed up. I was like, this was such a bad decision. I need to find a way out of here.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot when I worked at the bank, and I drank too when I was at the internet service repair.
Well, what I decided was, and this is
in the bank you were drinking?
In the bank.
Oh, of course, dude. What do you think's in those vaults? But I kind of made the decision, I have to change my attitude, and I decided that every time my phone rings, it was an opportunity to make someone's day better.
Yes.
And once myself, I know, but
it sucks, dude.
But listen, but once myself and the team took that approach, it changed the way we dealt with people. And then I told everybody on my team, if someone's screaming at you, you give them one option. You give them one warning and say, I would love to help you, but only if you're going to be able to talk to me in a professional manner. And if they don't, you hang up on them. And then you come tell me. And when they call me, I'll tell them the same thing. And there were dealers, you know the people in our industry, Matt. There were dealers that would call their sales rep because they knew I wouldn't pick up the phone call because they'd called my guys too many names or, no, I'm not, we're not standing for that. So it took a while. I had a sales rep that was like, I need you to come out and meet with me and this guy. He wants to apologize. All right, cool. I'll do it. But it's just, long story short is you're right, Jose. If you want to get something from customer service or tech support, you have to start with the nice approach.
You don't have to be nice. You just have to be like, look, hello, so-and-so. I've called before. This is my problem. What can you do for me right now?
And I've even used the line, I recognize that you did not cause this issue, but you happen to be the person that picks up the phone when I call for help.
Any other options for me?
I need your help.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge to that person that you're not angry at them, I'm very frustrated at the situation. I'm not frustrated at you personally. Can you help me? They say yes. You're much better off that way.
So I hate your guts is not a good
you dumb
sack of something.
Sack of something.
Shite.
All right. So our dumb sacks of somethings are going to end this call before we go down any further in the. I said the F counts are getting worse, guys. They're getting worse.
Bro, you said one.
Yeah, but that's the second time in 153 episodes I've said it. You guys each said it 3 times tonight.
You started it
I
off.
said it twice.
I said it one time.
Well, I need to. Now I'm going to have to edit. It's going to take me that much longer, and I don't need time to do this. You guys.
If you just put E on the episode, you don't have to worry about editing, dude.
Maybe. All right. Well, look, everybody, thank you for joining us again. The chat room was pretty lively tonight. Matt was in there keeping up with you guys. And thanks to Mike for joining us from Overland Flagstaff. Go check out his stuff, and hopefully we get to see some of you guys going out there and experiencing the overland life with his rig. And anything else, guys, before we go?
Yeah, again, so we have 1 dislike on YouTube.
What?
Which is funny.
Who keeps doing that?
Which just like, dude, you keep tuning in every Monday.
Rob.
Do you think
Rob's not even in the chat room? He's just playing like ninja tactics.
Do you think it's one of our like the same guy every week that's doing it to be funny?
Well, it's one guy. I mean, or one person, whatever.
Or is it? It's Tim.
Oh, cool.
That
dude.
wouldn't surprise me. I was thinking like, does someone hate us that much to tune in Monday nights?
Yeah, but
That still counts.
But he's like, he or she is sitting there watching us, like.
Well, or they could just tune in at 6:35.
That's true.
Do the thumbs down and then bail.
We have more now.
Nice.
So screw you guys for the thumbs down.
That's hilarious.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Later, guys.
I'm Presley, and thank you for listening. Thank you to Max and Taya. Thank you to Icon. If you want to be on the show, call 951-394-DUKE. Thank you to Ryan Terena with all of the music.
Today on the show, we talked to Mike Rickerd with Overland Flagstaff. Do you want to experience overlanding in a
Go again.